Welcome to Project Partners series on the benefits of Oracle Cloud ERP for the engineering and construction industry. This industry is no stranger to challenges, whether it's complex project management needs to stringent budget control. Amidst these challenges lies an opportunity to revolutionize the way projects are planned, executed, and managed. Oracle's Cloud ERP empowers organizations to unlock efficiency and achieve unprecedented levels of success. Our experts will explore enabling contract management in Cloud ERP in today's episode.
So Bruce, can you briefly explain what contract management is, its importance in the E&C industry, and key challenges when it comes to contract management?
Contract management in Oracle Cloud ERP drives how the project is managed from a revenue and invoicing perspective. The functionality allows you the ability to measure reported progress or your percentage of completion against a schedule of values to ensure accurate billing per the terms of your contract. The major challenges faced by the E&C companies is extremely narrow margins on projects that are very dynamic in nature. So effective contract management allows these firms to maximize their margins and move the break-even point earlier in the project lifecycle.
And Niraj, this question is for you. How can Oracle Cloud ERP address these challenges and improve contract management processes? And in addition, what are the benefits of having a robust schedule of values in contract management?
So let's start with the beginning, right? So contract management actually starts right at the point where the customer has told you that they have selected you to be the contractor of choice to deliver the service. And that is really where your legal department then combines, collates together the appropriate contracting document that they would like to basically work with the customer on negotiations and basically finalize from that from a perspective of moving forward. So Oracle Cloud ERP has the ability to have predefined contract templates, which the organization can basically create based on the different types of contracts that it typically works with, and then use these templates, which basically combine both the financial aspect of a contract as well as the terms and conditions aspect of the contract, the T's and C's, and basically use that as a starting point to provide to the customer and basically work through the entire negotiation process. The status model in Oracle Cloud ERP contract management also gives you the ability to really track a contract all the way from the initiation of the contract during the opportunity phase, all the way down to the execution of the project once you basically have the contract signed and ready to go, including things like managing amendments and managing functions from that side of the house. Now, when you come to the schedule of values is the standard way in which most construction is managed between the customer and the contractor, the general contractor or the subcontractor for that purpose. A schedule of values basically just states that for a given type of work being performed, what is the total quantity that is agreed to be delivered and what is the price at which that will be delivered. And so basically with Oracle Cloud ERP, the contract management module allows you to basically define contract lines. Each line in the contract then can correspond to a line in your schedule of values. And it then further allows you to basically collect progress, either automatically by linking it to the project being executed or manually by basically entering the progress against the schedule of value line items or contract line items, thereby allowing you to basically accurately generate invoices that you would then send to the customer. You could also then use the same progress percentages to do revenue recognition, or you can choose to do revenue recognition on a completely internal policy-based method. So the flexibility and the ability to really provide you the both sides of the view, right? The financial aspects for the schedule of values and how that is managed, and the terms and conditions and how that is managed with a comprehensive, really good amendment process to manage changes. Really, and a status model that allows you to walk through the entire life cycle really is what makes contract management in Oracle Cloud ERP very conducive to use, with E&C firms.
And Bruce, how does the integration of Oracle Cloud ERP and a PMIS system streamline the execution of construction projects?
Yeah, so what you have here, if you listen to the previous questions, is we're talking about execution of a project and managing to a contract and tracking progress at a schedule of values level to support billing and possibly revenue recognition. So when you integrate your PMIS tool, what you're doing is you're eliminating the duplicate manual effort. So think of it this way. In your PMIS tool, your project manager is going to manage the execution of the project. Progress will be collected against various tasks at a very granular level. So progress will be generated off the granular level items that'll get rolled up to a certain level on a higher level task to recognize the percentage of completion. And forecast data can be generated off of this as well in your PMIS tool. This information can then be integrated into Oracle Cloud ERP, which allows you to capture the progress and roll it up to the contract line values in your contract management tool, because you can associate your tasks to contract lines, which are also associated to your SOV, right? So at this point, what you're doing is you're automating the progress from the project manager in the execution tool into your financial system to generate your invoices based upon the accurate progress against your SOV to ensure you're billing per your contract terms.
Can you share any success stories where E&C companies have implemented Oracle Cloud ERP with a PMIS for contract management?
Yeah, so there's a few companies that we can refer to. One would be WSP, another would be CDM Smith, and then Burns and McDonnell. And as I said before, what's happening here is the PMs are doing the execution functions for the project in the PMIS tool. Therefore, they're not bogging down the financial system, your cloud ERP system, with a lot of granular tasks, for it produce additional issues for users downstream. They'd use this information to generate their progress and then generate their forecast. They push that over into the cloud ERP tool. And then from there, they get rolled up progress on the project based upon the physical completions in the field. And then what happens next is they can take that information, apply that against their schedule of values on the contract, and then bill their clients or recognize revenue based on whatever the rules are at that point.
Niraj, are there any specific features or functionalities within Oracle Cloud ERP that make it stand out as the preferred solution for E&C companies looking to optimize their contract management processes?
There are multiple features within Oracle Cloud ERP that make that allow for contract management to be a really comprehensive function within the applications, right? So starting off with the separation of the terms and conditions with the financial setup of the contract, right? The financial setup drives how the contract will basically drive revenue recognition and invoicing, whereas the terms and conditions are really what are the obligations and all the various functions that basically the various terms that bind the two parties together in the contracting vessel, which is the contract itself. And so the separation of these two really provide for an easy way to manage both the terms and conditions as well as the financial elements. Now, the financial elements can be modeled very clearly with the schedule of values if it's a construction project, or if it is not a construction project, you can actually base it on your deliverables to match the ASC 606 requirements, and thereby basically look at how you can basically manage your revenue recognition and invoicing based on the deliverables that you have to the customer as per the contract that you have just entered into. Right. So that is a very critical element of the entire contracting process and of the contracting module within Oracle Cloud ERP that really assists this function. The second element of this is really the status model, as I was mentioning, which allows you to take a contract all the way from initiation through to the negotiation process, where you have both parties redlining the agreement and basically agreeing on a final contract, both in terms of T's and C's and in terms of the financial aspects of the contract. Then down to basically the execution of the project once the contract is finalized, including then changes that can be done based on the statuses of amendments and things like that that the contract management model provides. The third major feature that I would like to highlight is the ability for managing amendments, which is a very key element of the product because it allows you to keep the current contract status valid for financial purposes like invoicing and revenue recognition, while you continue to work on making amendments based on change orders that are received from the contract or change orders that are agreed to with the appropriate customer. So that way, what you can do is you can continue to keep the old version of the contract active while you make the changes, get the changes approved, and then basically incorporate them into your contract, and then they become valid from that effective date going forward. So all three of these are really powerful features of contract management, which basically in Cloud ERP, which allow ENC firms to really make full use of the application and really enable the functionality for to enable their business process.
Thank you, Bruce and Niraj, for your insight, and be sure to tune in and watch our next episode in this series where we'll be diving into supply chain management.